edition of VH1 Supersonic in Goa. I'd like to introduce the people here on stage. There's Ashwin Raikar, who's our partner from Starlight India. Jaideep Singh, who has a very long designation which I can never get right, but he's the head of the business of live entertainment in Viacom 8 in India. And Shailesh Shetty, who's also a partner from Starlight and based out of Goa here for VH1 Supersonic. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
And I'm the festival mascot. My name is Nikhil.
And the journey for the last 3 years has been great in terms of whether it's the size of the festival, the way the brand has got built, the love we've got from the Goa community, the locals, the talent from Goa, nationally, internationally, the progression of music, the way it has gone ahead, the production which has gone ahead, great amount of the inputs which Nikhil and our talent team has put together to make sure the inherent music soul of the festival, which I believe is the key to build any festival, is really taken to the next level. It's not about just getting few big names. It's always about the spirit, the soul, the genres, the innovation, getting the larger artist community involved. I think that's been the key heart of it. And at Viacom, and especially in the live business, we believe things work with partnerships. That's what makes big businesses happen, and the amount of support which we got from Starlight, from Shailesh, from Ashwin, in terms of getting the whole Goa administration involved, the locals involved, that has helped the scene quite a bit. We've taken quite a bit of effort to make sure that we have the maximum impact on local businesses. So whether it is about having good tie-ups with the hotels which are starting from Goa, having the administrative or production setup, getting that involvements done, apart from a lot of other things, I think that's been our core piece. So I would say broadly that's the space we are in. It's just the start. It's just been 3 years. There's a long journey to go ahead, and we want to make sure that the festival markets Goa a lot, and we are using, the next step for us is to use the content from the Goa festival to go on to the Viacom international beams, which will help market Goa as a premium destination when it comes to entertainment and live music. I think that's broadly, there's a lot to talk, but broadly what comes in mind is that, and I'll probably have...
Also, just to pick up what you're saying about going on international streams, the festival is broadcast in HD quality on YouTube, and also this year on the Hungama app, which has a very wide footprint, and of course it then goes on to VH1 India and all of our affiliate channels as well. So there's a huge outreach that happens from the festival, which also highlights Goa as a great destination to come with your friends and have a good time during the new year. Now, just to give you a little overview on what we're doing in the festival this year, the one question that we keep getting asked is, what's different, what's new? The thing is, coming to Goa itself is what the objective is of VH1 Supersonic with your friends. We always say this is a festival of your friends. So it's not about, I'm going to come to VH1 Supersonic because there's something new or something different. It's because this is where I want to come and spend an amazing time, 4 days with my friends around me, listening to some of the best DJs.
Ethel, just tell them.
Good point, but I disagree with you. So, we have an incredible festival lineup as always, and we've also put a lot of energy behind alternative music forms and not just mainstream music. Now, one of the things with mainstream music is it kind of self-propels itself. Really big DJs have really big marketing budgets, and they're able to spend that marketing on making sure you listen to only their music. So some of the world's best DJs have amazing marketing agencies behind them that make sure that when somebody's coming into dance music for the first time, this is all you'll see. You will always see music on YouTube by these same DJs. And at Supersonic, we've really made a conscious effort to not just nurture local talent, but also to expose people to other forms of music that are widely popular around the world. Largely, the two genres that we're focusing on this year are techno and bass music. In the techno space, we've got one of the world's biggest techno franchises, Awakenings, which is based out of Holland. They're here and they're hosting 3 days on one of our stages. The interesting thing about Awakenings is that the guy who runs Awakenings is a guy called Rocco. He used to come and party in Goa in the 90s. So he's been to Hilltop and Disco Valley. He used to stay at Gabriel's guest house in Kapil. He wants to go and check out if it's still there. I looked it up online, it's still there. So he wants to go and say hi to the owners of Gabriel's guest house again. And when he used to come to Goa, he said that he loved the coconut trees, he loved the beaches, he loved the people, he loved going around on a scooter all over Goa, but he didn't like the trance music. So he always dreamed of doing a techno party in Goa, and this year that dream is coming true with VH1 Supersonic. So it's a really interesting story. I mean, hopefully you guys will get to meet Rocco as well. He's a bit of a character. On the bass side, we have a very strong association with Arms House and UKF, two of the world's biggest bass music brands. And the really good thing is, the guys who are part of those organizations are best friends with some of the biggest bass DJs in the world. So that party on our little stage is like a festival within a festival. You have to come and experience it. It's a lot of fun. They're constantly pulling people out from the audience and they're making them dance with them on stage and party on stage. So it's a really infectious kind of a vibe. And it feels very tightly knit because everyone knows everyone else. All the artists know each other, all the MCs know each other, the guys behind that bass community, they all know each other, so it's quite fantastic. On the Indian artist side, we're really happy that we've got more than 50% of our artists from India. We've got some of the best artist talent that's been coming out of India over the past few years, the past 15 years, playing at a festival, and also new talent as well. And as always, we're very strongly represented by local DJs from Goa, who've really kept the Goa party scene alive, kicking in well for the past 20 odd years. In fact, I was at Sync last night when there was a party happening, Bullfrog. It's amazing to see the kind of energy that they generate, the DJs from Goa with the local Goa community. So that's largely the festival overview. We've got 3 stages once again: the Laboratory Supersonic, the Laboratoire Supersonic. It's meant to be a tongue twister. It's inspired by the Pink Panther hamburger scene. Remember that? So Pearl named the stage, and she said she wanted it to be fun and complicated, so it's supposed to be called the Laboratoire. We've of course got our main stage, which is Ironheart, which is making a comeback this year. We've changed a lot of things around at the Ironheart. It'll hopefully be ready by about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. There's still a lot of work to be done on it. And we've got the Spectrum stage, which this year is fantastic. And what we've tried to do with Spectrum this year for Awakenings is make it into a very nice, cozy vibe. So we've actually brought the stage a little closer to the 7 or 8 coconut trees that we have there. And we're going to build the stage into 2 wings. So if you go there, you'll see the stage kind of comes out like that. And with the coconut trees around, that community with about 2,000 people in front of that stage is going to feel very, very special. And it's been designed with that intention. This year, for the first time, we've been wanting to do it from the very first year. We're going to be giving out free water at Supersonic. Now, it may seem like a very small thing, but very often when you're dancing on the dance floor, you always think that, I've got to buy a bottle of water, and it's too much of a hassle. So every stage has a dedicated water station. Water's still going to be available for sale at bars, but we are going to be giving out free water at 3 specific water points, 1 at each stage. So 1 at the base stage, 1 at the main stage, and 1 at Spectrum. And there's also a lot of communication from the MCs that will be done on stage, which is see something, say something. So what we try and tell people is that we're one dance music community, and our medical team and our security can't be everywhere. So if you see something that doesn't feel right, doesn't look right, say something, inform someone. So if your friend is not feeling well, don't leave him lying down there saying, oh, he's only drunk, he'll be fine, and carry on partying. Don't ignore your friends if they need help. And nobody gets into trouble for asking for help. So we've got really good medical teams that are in place at the festival. And if you're feeling dehydrated, if you're feeling a little giddy, just go out there and ask for help. And
if you see broadly, I think apart from the overall hygienic point which Nikhil spoke about, the fact remains how you execute the security on ground is something which Indian market is still evolving, because we've not still, I would say, in the very advanced stage of festival organizing. We've reached the middle space. It's a good space to be. We're not there, but we're right in the middle. At our end, I think what we are doing, and the 2-3 very clear pieces, which is in addition to what you would see otherwise in any of the festivals specifically being organized in India. One layer is having a very strong international SOPs in place. So we got SOPs which have come from the large format events which Viacom does in Europe, in Japan, in US, and they have some mandates which are beyond the mandates which authorities kind of have prescribed in their permission processes. So while we are following whatever has been given by the fire, by traffic, by medical, we've layered that up with quite a few other measures which are practiced internationally. So that kind of gets implemented by the team which is there on ground doing security. On top of the team, we've also got a team which is headed by a few people from South Africa, Europe, which is the international team, which kind of oversees the whole mechanism. So you have the mandates of authorities, B, something which we got from our international large format events, and on top of that, then you have international team which kind of make sure that all that is followed and more is kind of taken care of. So that comes.
I asked this question because last night Sunburn's stage got caught. If you are aware of it.
Yeah.
So like such type of incidents happens here, then are those the visitors will be safe here?
See, I'll tell you, from as far as incidents are concerned, incidents happen all over the world. You know, they can happen. So you can make sure you have the safeguards and you're doing as much safety you can, but incidents can happen. You know, that is why they're called incidents, and that is a possibility. One can make sure that you follow the domestic guidelines, you layer them up with some more learnings you have from other markets, and then you layer that up with a team which will execute it. So I think at my end, I would say security comes from that perspective, that you need to have multiple layers, you need to have learnings from your market and from the other markets, and you have to very diligently follow the prescriptions which have been given by your authorities. So I think from security, that's the way I see it, and that's the way we've been following it up, and it has kept us in good state. If you see the kind of comments, the way the people have reacted to the last 2 years, saying it's a safe festival, you feel good when you've come in. So that's from an overall security perspective. So that we're doing. We've got our scanners outside in terms of small bags which ladies can get in, otherwise bags are not allowed. You have your sniffer dogs, you've got your patrolling teams inside going into, activated special emergency response teams. There are 8 teams like that with 6 members each, which are going to be placed strategic parts of the festival to make sure that in case something happens in any type of incident is kind of taken care of. Then when you come on to the medical side, I think we would be probably the first festival where you have a full-on intensive care unit set up inside the festival. So we've got, I think, 2 intensive care units in the festival. We've got a full-on ICU van outside. So the medical has been taken up to the next level. We've got Manipal hospitals partnering with us, brought in by Starlight with Salish, quite strong involvement, to make sure that we've got very professional, strong medical representatives on ground. So there are doctors, around 4 to 5 doctors, full-fledged doctors on ground. There's a doctor in the van. So those 2 aspects then kind of go to the next level. Then obviously the key things is also about how do you prevent incidents, and how do you make sure people are in a safe place. So I think Stay Hydrated campaign thought by Nikhil, keeping water free, was a fantastic thing, and that's kind of I think will help people to be in a good shape, because it's hot. As the day progresses, if you have water just around the corner, you don't have to go and buy it. It's easily available. People tend to drink, and that kind of keeps people in a good healthy state.
How many visitors are the music lovers have expected for this?
How many people are expected? I think we're going to start off with about 10 to 12,000 on the first day.
This is for 4 days.
It's for 4 days.
Yeah.
And we build up to about 25,000 on the last day. So it progressively gets bigger and bigger as we go forward. But I think across the span of 4 days, we'll get close to between 80,000 to 1 lakh visitors.
I would say, it's about, we've seen a progression of around 20-30% scale up on the festival year on year. Nationally also, I think on all the live events, nationally the growth rate of footfalls is increasing by 15 to 20%. So we don't expect to take it very, very mass and make it we want good quality crowd, good experience, have the right kind of people on ground. That's why you see for the last 3 years we've kept the space almost in the similar place. We don't go overly aggressive in terms of having too many people in. Get the right people in. I think for us, if we are close to 100,000, 110, 120,000 for over 4 days, it's a good number to be in. So we started with 50,000 in year 1. Second year was close to 70, 80. This year we're looking at get 20% more. So if you got between 100 and 120,000, I think we'll be in a pretty good shape for that matter.
There's also a pattern of educating people about other forms of dance music. So everybody knows who the top 10 DJs are in the world, but if that's the only music you keep playing, then you're basically playing the same music that you have in your CD, in the gym or in the car. So why would you come to a music festival and just to do the same thing over and over again?
So there are no topmost international DJs here.
Oh, we do. I mean, we do have some of the biggest international names playing for us. Disclosure, Axwell and Zed are extremely heavy hitters when it comes to the dance music scene globally. But it's not just about them. It's about the entire offering of artistic talent and music at Supersonic. So when you look at the techno lineup that we've put together, the bass lineup that we put together, these are the best lineups that Asia's ever seen, not just India.
When
So you want
starting
people?
tomorrow this?
Sorry?
The event, what time you are starting this?
We start at 1 o'clock. Yeah.
I think it's also about one of the things which in many interactions has come in, it's very important to, as the part of the industry, it's important to innovate. If we don't innovate, we don't get new genres into the space will saturate. And a lot of these questions keep coming in. Is dance music saturating? Are we going in the right direction? So I think at our end, our endeavor is that it's a long-term business. We are, as Viacom, we are in the game of music with our channels being there, MTV, VH1, MTV Indies. We do a lot of stuff in music, internationally as well as domestically. So we want to make sure that we are not just going after the quick buck, which is to be done immediately. We are here to build the category, and when you build the category, you need to do stuff like in techno, you need to support drum and bass, and when you get the names, you try and get the artists who are not coming year on year. So if you see Zed is coming after 4 or 5 years, Disclosure has never been to India, Axwell is also coming after 4 years. The techno lineup has not been to Asia for that matter with that kind of size up. So if you break up the lineup and you break up the music scene, you'll see that it's a comprehensive experience of dance music, and then you need to add technology on top of that. So if you go on, I don't know how many of you have seen the VH1 Supersonic app. I would suggest that you guys should download it. And if you see that app, you will find that app is not about just Supersonic. That app is about the world of dance music globally. You can make your playlists. You can make the playlist from Supersonic. You've got all the details of Supersonic. You've also got the complete details to the T details of all the festivals in the world, all the artists in the world. It's a comprehensive the guide for dance music space for that matter. So I think those are the pieces which need to keep getting added on, which take the festival to the next level. Content is a big piece, and that's something which we've focused on from year one. The first year you had a documentary series which had come in. Last year you had the VR Supersonic series, which was an 8-part series culminating into a 10-minute full-on after movie. This year you will see the progression to the next level. So technology, ground experience, content. When you put these things together, then you can expand the experience which your 100,000 people see on ground onto the TV to go to millions into multiple more cities, and that's how your space will grow. That's how the demand for the music will grow. I think that's what we've been, going after in a big way.